This is Chris Mason.
And I'm Hal Gill, and we are both Missin Curfew.
What's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no playing, just go.
Scotty Upshaw in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
Fellas, coming to you from Hall Pass Media in Newport Beach, it's Obes, the Updog, and Richie Falla, fresh off his first Fella tour. We're going to get in that. But happy Thanksgiving, Updog.
Fellas.
Richie, hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice time to drink some wine, eat. Nice to have my family back in town. And fuck, is it fun just to sit there with the feet up, watching some sports, pouring a little glass of red wine, making sure you get that cup always full, bud. It's a nice time.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, Rich. Welcome back, buddy.
Nice to be back. I was so good seeing you guys in person and meeting the whole crew. I got to meet everyone over the Zoom and stuff, but to get to muck it up with everyone was a lot of fun in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, let's go there. So we talked to Jay Swish on Tuesday about the Fella tour. It was nice to have you. And it was funny. We landed in Denver. I'm going in to take a piss, and there's old Richie. There's here, Fella. I go, hey, bud, what's... So it was just like, it kind of caught me off guard. I was like, oh, hey, what's up, fella? But kind of a unique way to start off the Fella tour, right in the pisser. Hey, man, how you doing, bud?
It was, perfect timing. I think you got off the plane at the exact same time, and then we had time for a beer and some Quiznos subs, and right back on the bird to head to Pittsburgh. So it was perfect, and always fun running into you in the pisser.
Yeah, what'd you think of the first Fella tour? Nice to get back on the road with the boys. The Updog was flying as usual. What'd you think of the pace of play from the Updog?
Did you respect the pace? You guys were tough to keep up with too, boys. Fuck.
Oh, we caught our win late. Hey, by the way, A-Hall missed the bird. Was late for the bird. I obviously wasn't. Yeah, he was late.
I had to go to his room with the security guard. We talked about it last pod, but listen, he was tits up. He was actually under his blankets, but all the lights on. Going in with the security guard, I'm like, he's going to be okay. But the security guard's like, hello. I'm like, just let me go fucking shake him up a bit. I went in there, A-Hall, so I shake him, and he's singing, and I'm like, get up, buddy. We got to go. But he was half packed. He had his, the toiletry kit was all done. And anyway, I got him up. We made it. Little did I say.
I don't want to, sewer anyone here, but we were up pretty late that night with the Hall. And that was an early flight for you guys. So I'm not shocked that you had to kind of shake him awake there, but made the flight though.
Yeah, I was trying to tell him it's time to change your flight, but he wasn't having that. I came home to a little, resistance from Mac Miller. She wasn't thrilled with, apparently, she sent me a text at, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, which is 4:30 out here. And I didn't text her back till the next morning at I think it was, whenever I woke up, 11. So that's a pretty good stint of time. I could kind of sense when I got through the door that I was like, hey, and I was like, oh, caution.
You're bobbing and weaving.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, baby, how you doing? You want what do we? And so finally, I was just kind of like, what's wrong?
Just be a moving target, but never slow.
Yeah, she's like, you just didn't text me back for 15 hours, something like that. I said, well, I was shaking hands and kissing babies there. You text me, we're at William Penn Tavern, we're having a time, and then just kind of got away on me there.
I got back to a text from Joe DeMarco. And he's like, fuck up, dog. Armstrong's have got the Christmas trees out, and they got the ones that you like there. I don't know how long they're going to.
That was hilarious.
And I'm like, I just look at Christina. She's like, what? I'm like, I got to go get a tree or they're going to be all gone. And I just literally leave, boom, out the door. I had to go to the grocery store for something. And next thing you know, I'm putting the tree back on the Alpina, driving the baby back to the house.
Goddamn Predators tree after a thought tour on a Saturday. I'm like, are you kidding me?
What kind of trees again? Did you get a blue spruce?
I got I got a silver tip, bud. A nice silver tip. The skinny little Charlie Brown tree. I just have fallen in love with this. I've fallen in love with the skinny ones. I used to like one with the big rear end. Now I like just the skinny one.
You would think with your commitment to the fucking Charlie Brown tree, the old silver tip or silverback, whatever she's called, they would fucking put you on the email saying they're on.
Yeah, well, what happened? So then to our text, our boy from Shady, what's his name?
Peter Chang.
Petey Fucking birds with heads falling off. Petey texts me and goes, "Are we meeting for 7 a.m. at Armstrong's on Friday? Because that's the day after Thanksgiving." I go, "Buddy, I meant to text you. I picked mine up Saturday. They already got them all out." So I was like, "No shit." So I said, "You got to get there now." This was yesterday. He said he picked one up this morning. Still had them. Yeah, the silver.
So you could
Christmas tree.
You could. You know what? I'm going home for Christmas, but I'm going to, in typical Newport Beach fashion, I'm going to rent some kind of Christmas stuff. Yeah. December 1st, they're going to come over and put it in. I'm not putting up Christmas stuff before Thanksgiving. That's fucking outrageous to me.
No,
but I'm in the minority for that. I'm in the minority for that. Like, you guys are. We talked about this, I believe, last time we had Richie on last week or whatever. A lot of people got Christmas shit up right now. There's Christmas tunes everywhere. I can't shake them. I can't dodge them. They're everywhere. It's just too early for me. I don't like it.
Yeah, I do like the time of year now. The lights come on and it's dark at 4:30, but you're driving home and boom, 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 all the lights in the new houses come on. And, the family neighbors, and now the boats. Like where Obi lives, by the way, Richie, the Christmas boat parade, which is coming up in a couple weeks, it is just yachts and fucking Duffy boats and just Santa Clauses, big blow up Santa Clauses on these boats, and everyone's just getting pinned, and it's a great time here.
Where do they just take those around the harbor?
Yeah, couple hot laps, eh? Couple hot laps around the harbor, get the booze going. It's Newport Beach to go all out.
Yeah, for the lights.
So you got the Charlie Brown tree up.
Yeah, but no ornaments here. I'm going to do it with the kids and my parents. My kids, obviously, you got to let the kids do it, but I'm going to wait to put the lights up on the tree until after Thanksgiving. So probably on the weekend.
I like that. That was hilarious, though. I forgot about that text with the, like, straight out of Griswold's Christmas. He's got the fucking tree on his Alpina. I'm like, me and you are on a flight. You're sleeping in front of me. I'm like, we're both just hurt. And I'm like, Upshaw's grabbing Christmas trees here, Rich. You see this guy?
That's impressive. Plus, he got the early bird too. He flew out early too. So
yeah, I like that about you. Can I count on you to always have a late flight out? Like, is that something I can? But stay.
Buddy.
Yeah, I need that.
Yeah, me and you.
I need that vibe.
No, what I love. We landed and we went to rate the Panda Express. The big fella likes his Panda Express.
Yeah. Hey, I almost fucking went full fat guy move. I sent you a picture, but I forgot your phone was dead. There's a Panda Express in my terminal too. I'm like, I can't go double pan. There's a chance I shit my pants like right over
double Panda,
right over New Mexico or something. Right? And that Panda was pretty good though, wasn't it? I mean, I paid the price. Yeah, I paid the price like
years since I had some orange chicken from Panda. It was good, bud.
So me and Richie got the late flight and we're hanging out and having some beers, right? This time we had beers in the room from when we came back and hanging out and still talking Team Canada, which we talked for 2 days. And I still don't think we came to a conclusion who's on our squad or not, but we did a lot of chatter about it. Let's just say this, if Hockey Canada is working as hard as me and Richie were this weekend, we're going to be all right, boys. We're going to be all right. But all of a sudden, we're listening to tunes. A all goes to bed, but we're like, fuck, I'm so glad we got the late flight, man. I can't believe these guys are getting up. And Richie the phone goes on him. Your phone just all of a sudden, you go, she just went on me. He's like, fucking Lexi threw her in the tub 3 weeks ago. I put her in rice, but she's gone. Oops. So I woke you up, or you were up, but I called your room. But what did you do when you landed? Because did you just flag a cab old school style, or what did you do when you landed?
Yeah, well, I don't know even what happened to it. It was like 2 a.m. It just shut off on me. And then I was trying to call Jess and get a hold of her. So I was trying to remember her number, which was hard when you're pinned too. Trying to call her from the hotel phone. Sorry about those extra charges, long distance. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just went old school. I had to print off my tickets at the airport, all that stuff. And then I just grabbed a cab. Obviously, I couldn't talk to anyone. So as soon as I left you, I was on my own. So I just got in, had my wallet, obviously got a cab and got home. And then for me, it was the worst thing because I thought I was going to plop my ass on that couch, throw on a hockey game or something. And Jess's family's in town. They're like, we're going to a country bar. I'm like, I'm not coming. And I ain't coming. And then when I went in the room, got my cowboy boots on and my hat. I said, let's do it.
You look right like John Dutton right out of fucking Yellowstone. I text Jess. I say, hey, did your boy make it back? Like, did he make it? Thinking there'd be a picture coming of him, laying on the couch and cuddling her. And there he is, fucking drink, cowboy. All he needed was a dart hanging out of his mouth. And he's just like, I'm like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, that's great. Well, what bar? Like downtown, Old Town, or
old? I don't know if you ever. It's called Handlebar J's. You remember that place? It's on Shea and Scottsdale Road.
No, I don't, but I know exactly the location of that.
Yeah, it's right by Dirty Dog Saloon. If you ever went there.
Yeah.
Heard a lot of chatter.
I've been to Dirty Dog Saloon.
It's kind of catty corner from there, but great little Saturday night live music, great little country spot, and I had a great night actually, a lot of fun. But I was paying for it on Sunday. But It was all good.
Yeah, like for me, I've still been paying for it. I had to play in a charity golf tournament on Monday with Rob Nen, the old closer for the Giants, and Tom Doherty. It was actually Solani's tournament for canines, for those rescue dogs that are looking for places to go down in Kodo. Tough track. But I mean, I was hurting. I was hurting for a couple days. Did it take you a couple days too, Rich, or you like this animal? He just doesn't even let it sink in.
I'm still a little tired because then you got to do obviously kids and getting up for school. You got to get up at 6 to get kids ready for school and stuff. So I'm still tired. I got to be honest with you, but I plan on sleeping in tomorrow. I'm going to tell you that.
Hey, do you think for our first time together, do you think we overshot the runway a little bit on the Fellow Tour, maybe, or do you think what? Do you like
a little orny?
Yeah, Mac Lewis said you and Brad stay up pretty late. I said a lot of chit chat. We don't see each other a lot. She's like, is that going to be every Fellow Tour for you guys? I'm like, historically, when we get together, typically it ends up going pretty late. But
yeah, but Pittsburgh, I mean, how much trouble are you going to get in? It's like, I'm back. By the way, the best thing about the place was the fact that they had a beer fridge in the lobby that was open till 2 a.m. on the button. We heard that because we missed it. But that's what a nice touch. In fact, I told the boys from Labatt, I'm like, you guys should look at putting in beer fridges, like branded beer fridges in all these like hotel lobbies that aren't maybe, the Four Seasons, because that looks bad, but like that Westin to a Hyatt or like to a Marriott, like put a fucking badass beer fridge in where guys can just come down till 2 a.m. and load up like we did.
4 a.m. 4 a.m.
But no, but
what's 2 a.m. going to get me?
Fucking pour in the beer fridge. They locked her up tight at 2.
No, me and Rich looked at it and went, I thought about, if I put my fucking elbow through this and just say I'm going to pay for it, are they still going to arrest me? You know what I mean? Yeah. No, and by the way, it's not about getting in any like trouble. I think it's just her knowing like when I come back, like just that she's got 2 or 3 days hurt nobs. You know what I mean? I think it's more that like she's like, are you going to be coming back? Hung cheese like this. But every Fellow Tour I've ever come back, not to blame Richie, every Fellow Tour I've ever been on, I come back and I'm hurting for a couple days. So she's just got to accept it. You know what I mean? Or,
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah. When you get your feet up, though, there's no like putting them down. They're up.
They're up. They're up. I can't. I mean, I tell you what. I'm looking forward to doing some sleeping in myself, Rich. A little lounging. I'm looking forward to it, fellow. But hey, Rich, it was great to have you on the Fellow Tour, buddy. Boys, we all played in the league a long time. Thanksgiving just passed. For me, we'll start with you. We'll go around the horn here. For me, when I was on the team after Thanksgiving and I looked at the standings, and let's say I was the Buffalo Sabres. Right now they're in the playoffs, tied with the Bruins. Fuck, I'm in pretty good shape. Now you go down to Detroit Red Wings and the Ottawa Senators. They're only 3 or 4 points out. But to me, I guess where I'm going, did you guys take as much thought into Thanksgiving as being, this is maybe what we are? Are we a fringe playoff team? Are we not? Like, I just think by this time of the year, I guess, is you kind of know what you are. And if you're not in the playoffs, it's time to get it going. Before you know it, it's fucking March.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. I think the word we're all looking for is like have an identity. And are we a team that's going to come out with a good start and play the right way? And, we get our identity locked in to start the season off, become a hard team to play on the road, find ways to get, points in close games, all the little things that teams, look to do throughout the course of a season. Yeah. Can we do them in the first 20 games? And interestingly enough, on Sunday, I took my little guy Beckham to the Seattle Kraken practice at Great Park and walked in, and Schwartzy, it was for them. It was the day after a rookie party. So you could tell they're just flow drills. Old Disco Dan was there. He said hi, came and kind of smacked the glass next to Beckham. But I saw Ronnie Francis there, right? He was up watching practice, and I really never met Ron Francis. But I said, Ronnie, what's up? We were just in Pittsburgh, and we're on the Fellow Tour, and I go, how are things going? I noticed you're 500, right? And he's like, it's been tough. We missed Dunner. Dunner's been out for 6 weeks, and then Eberle just had surgery, so that's a big fall. But we're hanging in there, right? And to your point, sometimes you're missing your best players to start the season off, or you're going through a tough stretch and finding ways to win a game like they did last night. 2 goal, or they did, not last night, but this week against the Ducks, come back with a third period late game, finding ways to get points, because come the end of the year, Richie, you know this, and I'll throw it to you, but those points, man, come the end of the year are tough to get. And to Obi's point, loading up on them at the beginning of the year gives you a little cushion come like when things get really tough.
Yeah. You said it perfect. But I think we talked about this on one of the other shows, but there is the stats on this, and you can look at the stats. If you're not in the playoff spot or at Thanksgiving, the chances are pretty slim that you get it. So, I mean, Talkett was, when I had Rick, he was a big he always talked about that, if we're not in, it's going to be really tough. And you don't want to fight that uphill battle coming down the stretch in March and April. But, I mean, look at some of these teams. If you're 1, 2 points, 3 points out, I think you have a legit chance. But when you start getting down 5, 6, 7 points, it's tough to make that ground up. Because all these teams got to lose a lot of games for you to get that ground up. So,
No, it really is, Rich. And, the stat is, I don't know if Kyle, if you can look it up right there, but the stat is like, yeah, it's like if you're not in the dance by fucking time you're fucking breaking out the Tums after the turkey dinner, it's like, fuck, you're in one. And to me, let's go to the Eastern Conference here. The two teams to me, like I picked the Ottawa Senators to make the playoffs. And I know a lot of people have the Detroit Red Wings as well. Those are two teams right now that are 5 or 6 points out of the playoffs that, to me, it's time to already, you don't want to push the panic button, Rich. We'll start with you. But, like, it's boys, if we're in that dressing room, it's like, hey, they're about to head out west, or they're out west right now to play the Kings, the Ducks, and the Sharks. Like, you got to get points. You can't get swept out west here and fucking go home empty-handed. You know what I'm saying?
No, and you look at them, they're 4 points out of a playoff spot. If you're talking Ottawa or any of those kind of teams you had Ottawa in, to make those 4 points up, you almost need some help. So they're going to need to go on a little bit of a heater, win 3 or 4 in a row to get themselves back in that mix. And then there's another stat to get to Christmas, if you're not in, it's like a 95% chance you're not making the playoffs or something crazy. So
76.7%.
76.7% you won't make the playoffs by Thanksgiving.
What's the Christmas one?
76.7% rate you will make the playoffs if you're in the playoffs by Thanksgiving.
If you're in the dance.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty high percentage at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, man. 20 games in. Most teams, everyone, Jerseys have played 24 games, 25 games.
Yeah, and
quarter of the season.
And you guys know, like, when you're in a spot like that, boys, and you're chasing, like, every loss feels like you're on, like, a 5-game skid. Where, like, if you find ways to win points and get those ones early, like a tough bounce on, like, a bad play, or one of your guys turns it over and you lose the game, everyone's kind of, like, just a lot more chill. You're like, fuck it, boys, let's get the next one. Well, in a case where, like, you're really fighting, and you're fighting from Christmas on, those losses, man, they feel like it's just a brick, like a piano on your back, and you're just like,
yeah. And to Richie's point, 5 or 6 points doesn't sound like a lot, but the more you get into the new year, and then you get into February and March, and there are those 3 teams ahead of you or 4 teams ahead of you, they all got to lose, you got to win. It's just like 3-point games are all the time now. It's like you can't get too far back. And I think there's teams right now, if you ask the Ottawa Senators and the Detroit Red Wings, they're probably a lot of urgency in that dressing room right now. We got to get her going, boys. So, and then when you look at West, real quick, boys, I just wanted to touch on it with you guys. Obviously the Calgary Flames, they're a team to me where I'm starting to believe, man. I'm starting to believe. Kadri, he sets the tone up front. Weegsy baby on the back end. They're getting great goaltending. And then you look at the wild card teams right now: Avalanche, Oilers, and then Updogs, Kraken. The Canucks are out. The Blues are outside looking in. The Hockey Club, like, the race is on in the West. Rich, it's already on right now. You can't take your foot off the gas. If you want to be a playoff team in the West, the time is now to get it going.
Well, yeah, I'm just looking at the teams in the West, just kind of throwing this out there. Who's falling out of those playoff spots? I mean, if it was me personally, not trying, Calgary's played great, had great goaltending. That might be the team maybe goes on a little bit of a losing streak in the second half. I'm not trying to take it. Oh, that's true for them as much, but who else is coming out of those playoff spots?
Nobody. No. Vegas is not going anywhere. LA, I would say,
see Van move up and take something, but who's coming out? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm still not completely sold on the LA Kings, and I've only watched them probably 5 or 6 times, and not all the complete games. I'll watch them more. They've proven me wrong, but that's another team that I think they're the Flames and the Kings could maybe fall out in the Pacific, where the Oilers come up and the Canucks come up.
Minnesota, maybe, like, if there's one of their, if Capri, if
Thrill,
yeah, if he's not healthy or goes on a cold streak, like they run and gun with him. But yeah, you're right. Like, once these Las Vegas and Winnipeg Jets and Dallas get rolling, and Colorado and Edmonton start to figure it out, those teams are going to take those first 5-6 spots and fight. It's fighting time.
There's not much left. There's only some scraps left. There might be one spot, so.
Yeah. And that brings me to the conclusion, as you guys know this, Richie won a Stanley Cup. Updog, you played a couple of conference finals. Like, I used to have this with Cooley all the time. You talk about teams, they haven't made it's hard to make the playoffs in the NHL. You look at these standings right now, and all these teams, especially out in the Wild West and even in the East, it's hard to get in. And these games mean so much. that if you put yourself where you're 7th or 8th in the West right now, it's like, boys, we gotta go on a tear here just to get in. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Hopefully the league figures itself out, because I still don't have a heartbeat for it, Rich. I'm still just taking it on the chin. I think I got it figured out, and teams laying the egg on me. It's been a weird first 20 games, wouldn't you say?
I would say that 100%. As we talked about this on the trip there, it's really hard some nights to see the bets and see who you think's going to win these games, because it can go either way. But I think when you get to this point of the year and heading into Christmas and after Christmas, you start really seeing the separation, some of the good teams and bad teams. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, yeah, that's all I got on that. I'm looking at the standings here. And I'm like, who the hell's coming out of these spots? I'm so like fascinated on that. But
no, and see, we're doing it right now, and that's what GMs and coaches are doing right now around the league. They're looking at it going, fuck, Edmonton's not going anywhere. Avs aren't going anywhere. Canucks are going to get healthy again. Miller's going to come back. Like, if you're the Utah Hockey Club right now, like, let's be honest, I love Ryan Smith, and they're probably done.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, not that a lot of team Ducks,
Nashville, like heads.
Yeah. Nashville, yeah. Nashville. We're going to get to Nashville.
Yeah.
But yeah, so interesting. I just wanted to break it down with you boys. Good luck to the fellas out there. This is when the season starts ramping up, so I'm looking forward to it. We'll be right back at Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. DraftKings, baby. Presented by DraftKings. Stay tuned, because you hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Listen, top titty. 59 entries. Shout out to the winner, Labby 59117, 155 points. Good on you. I finished 7th, 121 points. Nice. The captain, Brento, right there again, 25th. Updog, 27th. Kyle was 50th. Kyle, what? Talk to me, dude. What?
Fellas, I don't know what's going on. The squad was not that bad. I don't. It's the goalies. You pick a goalie, they don't play.
Well, you got to know a goal.
It
might have happened to me too, to be honest, in this week's.
Yeah, let me look up mine.
But I had Scheifele ice cold, Suzuki ice cold, Svechnikov, Stankoven did a little bit for me. I don't know.
That was Stankoven.
It was tough.
By the way, this guy, did he not play enough games last year to?
Yeah, no, he's still a rookie.
He's a rookie.
Yeah.
Well, how many games did he play? Obviously not enough. Not 41, right?
I was going to guess under 20.
Yeah. I won $26.55. Here's my squad right here. I went with McDavid. He got me 29. Adam Lowry, 10. Draisaitl, 1950. Arvidsson didn't play. There's a donut for me. DeBrusk had a night for me, 38 points. Owen Power, 12. Gostisberg, 8. And then Markstrom, I guess he didn't play. He didn't play either. So I got stung by the goalie. And then I took Jamie Benn. Just because we were talking about him all weekend. They're like, what about your team, Ken? I'm like, I'd have Jamie Benn on my 4th line. I have fucking Jamie Benn. I'd have Stammer out there. People are like, I just love the old vets ups. I just love the old vets.
That's great. I had Aho, went for 20, and then Bo Byram, my boy Bo Byram, 50.5.
You know what? We got to get Bo Byram on.
Bennington had 12, and then, I don't know. Zibanejad, I'm not taking him anymore.
Zibanejad, someone get the fucking Apple Watch on his heart rate out there. It is fucking not even working. I mean, he's
in struggling.
Buddy, the Rangers, we talked about it on the last pod, Rich. The Rangers right now, like, reason for concern. That Adam Fox, he looking slow out there, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, I just watched some highlights the other night. Was it last night when they got beat 8-2? Was that last? Where they get?
Oh, they got pumped 8-2 by the Oilers Saturday night when we were in Pittsburgh drinking fucking Labatt Blues, yeah.
Oh, my God. Like, just losing every battle on the ice. Not good.
Yeah. So, hey, Labby, whatever your handle was there, buddy, reach out to Princey. I'll send you a buttery tea and a hat. DraftKings, a lock of the night, boys. Richie, congratulations. When you were snoring logs on the plane, Blackhawks went up 2-0. I went, he's going to wake up and be fucking pissed at his lock of the week. And I took a money line, so thank you. They came back. They won, I believe, in overtime. Flyers beat the Blackhawks. Jay Swish had the lock of the week with the hockey club over the Penguins. And Updog, unfortunately, the Ottawa Senators beat the Vancouver Canucks. And the Blue Jackets, they were down 4. They scored late. That Russian kid with an absolute bullet top cheese. Marenko or whatever his name is. Marchenko, thank you, and then they won in overtime. So we lost. I'm 5-2. Updog's 4-2. Richardson 3-1. Jay Swiss 3-1. Uppy, I'm going to go first. I am going to take Billy Guerin and the Minnesota Wild over. Sorry, Fact Daddy. The Nashville Predators. I got the Wild at home. They've been rolling. They're a great team at home. I need a win. I'm taking the Minnesota Wild, fella. Who you got, Updog?
My man, I'm gonna switch it up here because a couple that sparked my eye, but I'm gonna take the New Jersey Devils at home against the Washington Alex Ovechkin-less Capitals. So New Jersey, they're rolling. Markstrom's hot, 500th game. I got the New Jersey Devils, boys.
Wow. And I'm going to go with the old Vegas Golden Knights at home against the hockey club. Tough building to go into. That's my lock of the week.
Love it, boys. Richardson, like I said, big win for him last week. Jay Swiss, 3-1. We're still making you money. Combined, we are 9, 12, 15, and 6 we are as a squad here at Missin Curfew. So we're still making you money. I parlayed the fucking thing last week too, and ours didn't hit. The Sens
you have money to hide it from your old lady.
Yeah,
Tuck it away in the drawer.
Yeah, the Sens played. I watched that game. They played brutal. Jake DeBrusk was flying. Connor Garland flying.
Yeah,
and the Sens looked like just a young team in that game. Right, Hockey Night in Canada, Saturday night at home. Canucks coming in without JT Miller, I thought, and the Canucks just outworked them. And Quinn Hughes got punted out of the game first trip for hitting someone from behind.
Well,
they touched the guy.
That's not hockey, by the way. That's a fucking joke. A guy like going in, you're easily like you're kind of ready to feel pressure, and then you go into the boards. Come on,
Quinn Hughes is not trying to hurt anyone.
People paid a lot of money to watch Quinn Hughes play hockey that night, and some ref fucking kicks him out in the first fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah,
that's a joke.
I agree. That should be reviewable, though. No, like, is it not reviewable? I don't know the rules.
I think they did. Boys, I think they did review it, and they fucking kicked him out for it. They did review it.
I can't remember who it was, but the guy kind of caught an edge, Rich, behind the net, and Hughes just kind of was there to defend him, and the guy caught an edge, and I guess Hughes kind of rubbed him, but it wasn't.
No, if he doesn't catch 5-minute major,
no.
The guy's not hurt. It's like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah,
play the fucking game.
I'm thinking, here we go. This is going to be my lock. Quinn Hughes is out, no JT Miller, and they just outworked him. It was a road, Rich. You would have loved it. I actually thought about you watching. It was just a road hustle, gritty, fucking stingy, Rick Tocchet road win. I'll tell you what about the Senators. I watched them play the other night against Weegsy Baby and the Flames, and that Jake Sanderson. So they make it 4-3. Now we're under a minute to go. Neutral zone, boys, comes to him D to D, and all he's got to do is this. Off the fucking boards. He does the old O'Brien back in the day at the Yardman Arena, Rich. Brings her back to his backhand, tries to go cross-ice sauce. Kuzmenko knocks it down, and they get a fucking point-blank chance. I'm thinking, imagine that happened. I mean, like, just get it out, kid. Even I know that. Just get it out. But
take an icing if you have
take it. Like it was bad. So, boys, we got our 2 guests coming up. I just wanted to touch on the Nashville Predators. We all played there at different times. Richie, what did you think of your time there? I know you were only there for a year, but what did you think of your time in Smashville?
I mean, I loved it. It was a weird year. It was that, shortened, weird season. I think we played 56 games, and I broke my ankle blocking a shot, so I didn't play a whole lot. I think I played like 20 games and a little bit in the playoffs. I love the city. Always loved the city. It was my favorite place to go when we were on the road team. But organization was really great to me and my family. So I had nothing but first class from them towards my family. So I loved it.
Yeah, you kind of got the tail end of what it is now, not tail end. You were there when it's turned into this team that it is now, right? They spent a lot of big money. They went out. Trotzy fucking put his balls on the line. Uppy, when you were there and I was there, it was a very small market team. Draft well, develop in Milwaukee, bring them up, no sign free agents. So, what have you thought of this team? And is it just too many moving pieces coming in? Like, they're sitting here right now, 7-12-3, 17 points, 9th in the Western Conference. Like, and they lost the other night to New Jersey. I watched them play for. They look slow to me up, Doug.
Yeah, Obi, man, it's you touched on it early. You said coming up through the ranks, like making your star players, your draft picks, the foundation of what your team is, making them go through the minors, which doesn't happen very often. It was David Poyle's his recipe. It worked. Trotzy was our coach. We had some great guys. I learned a lot as a younger player there. It taught me a lot about the game. Taught me a lot about being a young adult. Had a lot of fun. That's for damn sure. But now you look at it, like they've had some great runs, man. Like Pekka Rinne, Hall of Fame goalie. Shea Weber just got inducted this year in the Hall of Fame. These guys, they not only bred great players, but they bred great people. And right now, there's like a changing of the guard, right? Poyle leaves, steps aside. He's probably still calling the shots, but Trotzy's up there. Bruno, and we all know and know this. Their head coach is a well-respected guy. Stammer, his legacy speaks for itself. Fact Daddy, they've got great people. That Roman Yossi's a great captain, an incredible player. But what they're just finding, it's tough hockey. It's tough to go out and win. It's tough for them to find ways to get points. And it feels like it's just, there's a blanket over them and they can't fucking find their way out of it.
Yeah.
And time's ticking and we're getting to Thanksgiving. And now they do have an uphill battle in a very tough Western Conference. And it sucks because I even picked them to win the cup. I'm drafting. I took it to win
Central Division. That's
so it's hard, but if anyone, there's a lot of character in the room. So if anyone can do it, it's this group of guys. And last year they went on that stretch, boys. It was a fucking stretch that no one's ever done. And I'd love to see them do it again because Nashville's a great place to go visit, great place to watch a game. And I'd like to see these boys go for it.
Oh, and that's well said. There's so many classy guys there and great guys. I'm cheering for them. I want them to turn around and have a great second half. And again, we've talked about the stats, but there's always teams that do sneak in and figure a way to get in that last spot. So I'm really cheering for them. But one thing I was going to ask you guys, this Askarov kid that they traded, this goalie, was that a bad move or what?
I don't know. I just remember him coming in and him being the next savior coming in when they took him 7th overall, 8th overall, and just to ship him out of town. I guess when you give Soros, 8 years, it's like, well, why do we need this kid? But to me, it's just, they go out and they spend the money. I like that. I love that Trotzy went out there, first year being a gem, makes a splash. But was it almost too many moving pieces, like to bring in 3 different guys, even though they're veteran guys, to bring them in? And like, is there anything to that? You think that there was just, Stammer's been in Tampa forever. Marchessault's been in Vegas. Brady Shea's been in New York and Carolina for a long. Like, do you think they made too many moves? They should just maybe brought in one big UFA this year. Or like, I don't know.
I mean, it's tough. They grabbed the big names on the market. They grabbed them, and I think it was one of the boys, maybe Yossi, that said it best on like a pod. But he said Trotzy called the ball and said, "Look, I just fucking made a big move, and now it's all up to you guys. This is your room. This is your team. We spent the money, ownership spent the money, so now go do it," right? And it's been tough, but what you said, they're slow.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they signed speedsters. And I've always loved Marchessault. We watched a lot of Las Vegas hockey games late. He's been a clutch player. He's played in a lot of big games in the playoffs. He can score. Stammer can score, but they didn't get faster.
Yeah.
And it's a fast game, and with veteran legs in an 82-game season, maybe that's a little bit of what they're lacking. That's the difference.
Yeah, Rich, you think maybe Stammer's, sitting there in Smashville being like, instead of asking for 8, I should have just taken 4 or 5 in Tampa and continued a one-time Kucherovs? Or is it too early? We talked about Thanksgiving. They're out of the playoffs. The percentages are against them. Is it still too early of a sample size to be like, these are all the wrong moves?
I mean, I really hope so for some, I love some of these guys. So I'm really hoping so. So I got my fingers crossed for them. But, like the line last year, Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist was one of the best lines in hockey too. And they haven't really had haven't had the chemistry this year that they had last year. So maybe they get going. Maybe, like those guys had, Forsberg had over 40 goals, all these, so there's some guys here that need to start playing better, and hopefully it comes with some more time together. But they do lack a little foot speed, I think, especially a little bit on the back end. So,
yeah. And maybe when teams, I don't know if they ever slow down anymore in the NHL, but I think that as, get past Christmas and into New Year, after the halfway point, it gets a little bit more tight checking, and maybe that's when they can make up their points. But I'm with you guys. I picked it to win the Central on a nice, what I thought was good odds. Updog put a little future on with DraftKings to win the Cup. So time will tell. Listen, 2 good guys that do lots of great things for the Nashville Predators off the ice, the alumni. We got Skillsy, Hal Gill, and Updog's former teammate Chris Mason coming at you right now on Missin Curfew, fellas.
Welcome back to Missin Curfew, Updog, Smashville, baby, where, we spent a little time. Not as much time as we would like. They shipped us out of town pretty quick.
I know, but we're welcome back.
Yeah.
And when we go back, these are the guys we want to hang with.
These are the guys that we'd like to hang with. They do an unbelievable job for the Nashville Predators television. They do the panel, and they do the color. Chris Mason and Skillsy, Hal Gill. Fellas, thanks for joining Missin Curfew.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks for having us, boys.
Mace, we'll start with your setup there, fella. That is a nice looking setup you got there. We were talking before. You're out in the garage, but that's National League, bud.
Yeah, thanks. I threw it together. Skillsy and I just decided we talked about doing a pod for a couple years now. Didn't really know what our message was, so we kind of got that dialed in a little bit. And then I went diehard as a summer project, just putting all this stuff together. And starting her up. Thanks, boys.
Mace, what is your message? I forget. What is our message?
Well, we're still trying to figure that out.
Like,
too.
look at that. Look at, you got the fridge right there. It is a sick setup, boys. I had a couple pops there, and it's nice.
It's good. I got a sauna right there to sweat it out if I need to. I got all my awards that never made it into the house. So I got all that crap. I'm unpacking the boxes from the divorce.
Problem is, boys, can I tell you this? He said, let's do a pod. And I'm like, okay, great. And I redid my basement, and he jumps on, and I look on the Zoom, and he's got this, and I have nothing. We haven't done one pod, and he's got that behind him. And I'm like, I'm a failure already. So I scraped together some jerseys and threw them up there.
You got to have a sanctuary somewhere, boys. And if it's not the basement like that, it's got to be the garage, Mace.
Yeah, it's got to be the garage, and it's when you get this set up, you're probably compensating for something, right? So I got all the gear and all the stuff. I got this equipment. I'm not using this Rodecaster. You guys probably know more about the pod stuff than I do, but Rodecaster Pro. We did like 2 pods, and I couldn't even get my audio to go through. So
you guys are killing it. So I'm excited to actually be hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, well, thank you. We love what you guys do on your telecast. We watch lots of Preds games. Skillsy, I want to ask you, Mace mentioned the sauna. Boys, this wouldn't surprise you, but I never did cold tubs when I played. I always looked at guys in cold tubs. I'm like, buddy, it's all in your head. Let's go have a cold beer. Fucking all right. Skillsy, were you a cold tub guy, or were you like me, couple cold ones, ice it from the outside, or ice it from the inside, so to speak?
Yeah, ice it from the inside for sure. But I could ice it from the inside while I was in the sauna or the cold tub.
So you did it.
Or rub to, get a little flush, massage, bring a beer onto the bike, whatever it takes to flush it out. But
he's a savage.
I think, you know what? And I have an argument with the younger players now that have the protein shakes, because I was kind of at the tail end of, okay, we're going to have protein shakes. If I'm going to go block shots, I'm going to take hits. Like, I deserve a slice of pizza, some wings, a couple cold pops. I think that's more important. Mental health after a game, you need that.
That is good for your mental health.
That is true. Skillsy, I'd say us 4 here would all agree that you're an absolute pro. Like, you could go and have your beers, throw your bag in the hotel, in the hotel room, and go out right from there. What was your remedy in the morning for like getting over that initial kind of hangover, getting ready for practice? Was it jumping in in the cold plunge and or was it having a quick Red Bull, little iced coffee? What was your
gallon of coffee?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never had a hard time getting back up for practice. I think that's what I miss nowadays is having a hard practice, getting a skate. Like,
you're still like that though. You still do that. Like, we'll have a good night on the road, and everyone's like the next day texting at like whatever 10 o'clock, 11 in the morning, and Skills is like, he's up at 8:30, already had his workout, and I have no idea how he actually does it, because if I do that, I'm a write off the
yeah. Mace, I'm the same as you, brother. I'm the same as you. I'm dungy. Like, it's not pretty.
No, I'm going to be hurting if I don't get a sweat or something. Just move, run the blood through.
Yeah. Skillsy, you were a legend though for when you landed. You dropped your bag and you went, right? You liked the afternoon happy hour pops and the dinner. You were never a real stay out late guy, were you?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny because I Missin Curfew was not my issue. It was like trying to be sober enough to get back before.
Trying to find the hotel was though, eh? Where the fuck are we staying again?
No. Yeah. I do like that. I think my normal routine, like when I was playing, it was go walk around, grab a coffee, and then go find a place to have a happy hour beer, have a dinner with my wine, have a couple beers. But usually 9, 10 o'clock, I was pretty cooked.
Yeah,
and so
So it was just missing. It was just missing dinner, Skillsy. It's just missing dinner. Dinner was optional sometimes because you just have one too many.
Remind myself.
Yeah. See, that's the way to do it. I used to get off the bird, have a little nap before I headed to dinner because I knew I was going out for the night. I should have been on the Skillsy program. Just all I had to do is find the hotel after fucking dinner.
Boys, how is the road nowadays for you guys? I mean, you're both lucky enough to still be, on the team bird. Mace, you're doing color. Skillsy on the radio, on the road. But is the road still like it used to be? Like the hotels and the restaurants and kind of the atmosphere in that hotel bar? What's your guys' program like?
It's great. It's the best. Like it's the same. Like Skillsy. I've tried to the last year though. Like now he'll get off and he'll go get coffee, and I'll I'll go to the gym right away and try to get a workout in or something, trying to get a little bit healthier. But unreal hotels, like the food on the plane, we get spoiled. Like it's the same life, except we don't have to
play.
We
don't have to play. or take pucks off your shoulder, Mace. I mean,
we don't have to do anything. We go home after like go watch the pregame skate. We watch for like half an hour, talk to a couple people, and go back and shutsy if we want, do whatever we want, walk around. But it's unreal, man. It's a great life. It's actually a grind though at the end of the year. Skills?
Yeah, there's still that retirement phase. You boys remember that, where you're getting into like February, March, and you're like, God, this season is a grind.
Yeah,
and you're just looking for the next, and that's still there. But I will say, I love the whole, private jet. You fly in, like that. It's sick. It's a sick life. But I used to just like focus on food. Like I need the steakhouse, I need the Italian, I was planning that out. I was thinking about that before the practice in the morning, like where am I eating tonight and what bar am I going to go to, and planning it out. And now it's like I just go with the wind, and I might have 6 wings for dinner and be done with it. Or I might have a full meal. I don't know what's going to happen. I might hammer a slice of pizza on the way home and call that dinner. It's like, so yeah, you have to be careful, because I think it's a slippery slope, right? You can get carried away when you don't have to worry about whether you feel good the next day.
Yeah, or if we could do a lot of activities though. Like we used to bring our pickleball paddles every trip we'd play. COVID kind of ruined that, but the coaching staff plays pickleball, so we're going to fire that up again this year. But we'll do like every place we go, we'll like try to find out. All right, like when we would go to Arizona, we'd hike Camelback, or whatever, Colorado, we try to, the skills even went to Red Rocks, or we'll try to do that stuff now. And you guys know it's like when you played, you could never do anything that. So you go to any city, you wouldn't even know what it was like. So now we get to do all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. But I know you guys do that too when you get to travel, but
no,
that's the part I like about it.
I'm definitely like, maybe I should be going for hikes, but the next day I'm just based trying to shake the cobwebs. I'm like, holy fuck, I need an IV, boys. Trying to keep hiking. Hey, this guy hasn't lost a fucking step, boys. He's actually, I think he's picked up a step off the ice, which is crazy. And I am,
dog?
No, and I've slowed down. I can't do it like I used to. And I go on the fellow tour with this guy, and he's like, hey, let's go. Here we go. I'm like, buddy, I'm going to lay down. I'll see you for dinner at 7. I just can't keep up with him anymore.
Well, you boys know what it's like. I got a couple young kids. Now the road is like my sanction. This is like what I live for. Yeah.
Sir.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Well, boys, thank you for joining. Let's talk Preds. We obviously all played for the Preds, and I want to talk about the offseason with you guys. They obviously made a huge splash. When we all played there, the Nashville Predators weren't known for going out and signing guys. As guys that lived there, worked for the team, alumni, what was the feeling when you saw the boys open up the checkbook and just said, basically, right in, we'll hear what you want, fellas?
Mace, I know you were excited about it. Hey, I'll tell you, I was up in Maine. I shut off. I went off the grid. I have a place up in Moosehead Lake in Maine. And so I had to drive the boat across, like July 1st at whatever noon or whatever it was. I drove the boat across just so I could get some bars to find out what was happening. And so all of a sudden Twitter just blew up, and it blew my mind. I'm like, there's no way, my daughters are in the boat going, Dad, did you see this? And then, we're all looking at that. It was it blew my mind. So I never had like the lead up, the rumors about Stamkos, the rumors about Marchessault and Shea. I was blown away. And I much respect for Barry Trotz. He just no fear. He's facing shots head on and just going for it. And I respect that.
Yeah. Uppy, you know what it was like back in the day? I don't think we had the best teams, and Obes, you probably know that. Well, you guys actually had a good run the year that you played. But back in the day, Trotzy would get the best out of whatever team he had. And I was one of those guys, a lot of low cost, hardworking, kind of not a lot of talent teams. And now he's got an opportunity. He's evolved with the game, obviously went on, won a Stanley Cup, came back as a GM first time. And I think the team last year was kind of like a vintage Barry Trotz team. Obviously they got more talent than a lot of the teams, in the early days. And they played a lot better. And you guys probably saw there was a fun team to watch. I mean, they worked off every single game. They could lose whatever by 5 goals, but, wouldn't be it from a lack of trying. And so I think he's like, all right, we got a window. We got Yossi, we got Forsberg. We just signed Saros for for 8 years. These guys, this is it. If this group of players is going to win, this is the year we got to do it. And then he went out and signed those guys, and it was a great summer. But then the boys went 0-5 to start the season. So,
No, I know.
It's kind of changed a little bit.
I was like, these boys need a road trip to get out of Smashville. They got to get on the road and just get some team bonding. But
You're 100% right.
yeah, I'm like, these
100% right. Starting at home and having so many home games, you miss out on, especially with 3 new guys. Yeah, they need that.
Yeah.
They
You
need
guys ever play with O'Reilly? He said exactly the same thing. He's like, yeah, it was a 1-game trip. And he's like, yeah, the boys need to get on the road.
the boys need to just get on the bird, have a little team dinner or whatever. But Mace, you kind of teed me up like when we all played there, it had that small market feel, right? Like almost us against everyone else where we don't spend as much money, but we play hard. We got a great coach. We got good fans. Like, does it still have that feel there now? Has it turned into expectations of, hey, we're no longer a small market team. We have expectations. We spend our money. Has that changed the morale of the organization a bit?
I think it did. After they went to the Cup final, the next year they went out. That was 2017. Next year, 2018 season, they win the President's Trophy. Then the expectations, I almost felt they were unrealistic. It was almost like, doesn't matter who's on your team. We got to go to the Cup next year. We're going to win. If we don't win, and it kind of got like that for a while, and it was tough. I think after they started selling off some of the guys, they traded Johansson, Duchesne. Kind of got rid of some salary. And then last year was supposed to be kind of a rebuild where Trotzy wanted to like bring in, character guys and rebuild the culture and kind of get back to that old mentality of just go out there, work. We'll get the talent. We'll work hard. We want winners, that kind of thing. So I think that kind of like leveled it out. So last year I felt like the fans and the team and the organization connected again. But I think, Obes, to your point, there's definitely expectations. Now I think you go and sign those guys. You're not signing those guys just to finish sixth or, get into the playoffs. I think that, if they can get things going, which I think they will, I think on paper and the team that they have, I think you can put them up there with any. The NHL is so good. There's like 10 teams I think could win the Cup, but I think the Preds are in there.
Brunette has a different system, and it took him a while to get that system in. And, people ask me to try to explain it, and it's a lot of taking chances. Uppy, you would love it.
Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't even know what back check.
Possession?
Yeah, right side of the puck. I didn't even know what that meant. At all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But Bruno wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Bruno wants that. He wants hey, we might get the puck. Let's go. We're going. We're already on offense. And I think a lot of guys have a hard time adjusting to that. Defensively, you're supposed to move it up before it's even ready to move up. And that's how they play fast. And so I think it takes time for guys to get situated and kind of change their mindset into that system. And so I think 0-5 start, I don't believe that they deserved 0-5. I think they could have won a couple games there. Stamkos is ringing posts, it could have gone a little different. But I think they're going to get their swagger and they're going to get that playing fast back because they had it at the end of the last year and it was fun to watch. They just didn't have the horses. And now I think we got the horses and they should make some damage as the season goes on.
Sounds tiring.
Yeah,
sounds tiring. Sounds tiring. Still do that. I fucking tired.
Cinnamon comes in and says it's exhausting. You're not.
Their pregame skates too, Skillsy. We watch and are like, oh my god, thank God we don't play anymore.
Yeah, no kidding. You kind of teed me into a little bit about our boy Trotzy and the dynamic of having a coach like Andrew Brunette who's like, go, go, go. I just want you to trust your instincts, go wherever you need to go. Let's score some goals. Trotzy, you guys know, played RN first. He had that structure mentality. You're right. He had a bunch of horsemen that weren't overpaid, but they were all kind of buying into his deal. How is that transition, do you guys see, where he lets the coach be himself? Now he's upstairs. He's making moves. Is he still that kind of calm, collective sort of mentor? Yeah, because he was always kind of that to the younger guys. I know he talked to you, Obes, about going out when you first got there.
Yeah.
Well, that was every day for me too. But has he let kind of the coaching staff be coaches and him step away from that? And what do you guys see out of Trotzy right now?
Yeah, I think he was that was one of the things I think he was honestly most cognizant about because he was a coach. And I think, coming off that, he was probably worried if he didn't want to overstep with Andrew Brunette and he wanted to be, more of stay in his lane. And the one thing I've always respected about Barry Trotz and is, you guys know him, he might not be the best X's and O guys or this and that, but he's evolved with the game. But he surrounds himself with the best people, and he gives everyone that deserves credit. Like a lot of GMs or, sometimes head coaches, they take a lot of the credit. There's a lot of better guys, I think, in the game now, but a lot of guys don't give everyone that they're surrounded by credit, and Trotzy does that, and I really respect that about him. And one of the things that he lets Bruno, do his thing. He doesn't get in there, and he understands the game's different. It's a speed game. It's not the same game that we all used to play. And it's maybe there's points of it that are better and points that we don't like. But that's life. But the game's probably the most skilled, fastest kind of game. And Andrew Burnett's he's a genius. Skillsy, we've had a couple beers with him. You get talking hockey. He cannot let, he's unreal the way that his mind thinks and processes and takes other sports and combines different strategies from soccer and brings it into hockey. He's really complex. He's a very interesting guy. But Trotzy definitely gives him his space, and I really respect that. But I know that was important for Trotzy to get out there, that he just kind of stay back and, hey, you're the coach. You do your thing, I'll do my thing, and we can talk about it, but you're the coach. So I really respected that about Trotzy.
Yeah, Trotzy will have conversations for days. We all know that. He'll talk to you, but he trusts what Bruno's doing. And just a quick story, what Mace was talking about. I was, we were having a couple beers watching a game, and Bruno was there, and we were watching Vegas versus St. Louis or something at the end of the season, and he looked up and he goes, goal. And I look up looking to see where the goal was, and it happened like a minute later. I'm watching the play, and he called it. He said, "There's a weak side D pinched, and this happened, and the play went on, and it was a goal." And I was like, "How did you know there was a goal?" And I assumed he was watching on his phone or something. And then he explained the whole play, how it played out. He's way ahead of it, and then he said he added to it and said that happened earlier in this year. We're talking about two teams that aren't the Preds. And he knew exactly what guy did what wrong. And he said he did that about 20 games ago, where he had a bad weak side pinch and it cost him. And he sees the game like no one else I've seen. It was pretty impressive. I was kind of blown away because we've all hung out with guys that know the game, and we like to think we know the game. And I'm sitting there going, this guy is insane. So I think Trotzy knows that and trusts that and kind of lets him do his thing.
Yeah, everyone that talks about Bruno that played for him said he's just like a hockey guy. He knows everything. But when it comes to Trotzy, one of my favorite things as a coach is he'd come back to the back of the play where the boys are playing cards and kind of chuck in, make some jokes and that. As a GM, is he around the team? Does he still do that? Because I've had GMs like Brian Burke that you never see, that doesn't talk to anyone. I know Berkey's the extreme the other way, but is Trotzy still that kind of player's GM that says hi to the boys? Because I hope he never loses that, boys.
Yeah, he does. He does all the time. I think that's one of his best, gifts, I would say, as a person. And we all played on a lot of different organizations. As you said, you mentioned, I played St. Louis, Winnipeg, a lot of great organizations, great people, but I never met anybody like Barry that really included your family, included, everything about a player. He talked to you as a human being, and, he still does that with the boys. He does it in a different way, but he's around all the time. He'll go back, make his, awkward little jokes and, kind of chirp some guys, and you don't know if he's serious joking, but he's a smart guy. And I think that's one of his best attributes. And as a GM, he's coming in, he's never been a general manager before. This is pretty crazy. He's been a coach all his years, and he was very, he had a couple of good mentors though, David Poyle and then Lou Lamoriello, who's an absolute, mafia.
The Godfather.
He's the Godfather. Yeah, we got the skills. He's the Godfather of Chuck, the bag check Godfather, and Lou Lamoriello. He knows where the bodies are.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are two fossils.
A little bit of both of those guys, and really morphed into. He's very intelligent in that regard, but he has definitely not lost his human side for sure.
Yeah, when he started helping out with David Poyle. He started going on the road, and I'm telling you, he had hour and a half meetings. He'd sit in the lobby, and I remember him talking to Ryan McDonough, and I went out, had lunch, came back. He's still talking to Ryan McDonough in the lobby, just like he is making sure he's talking to guys, and he has, and going back to what you were saying, Mace, the occasional joke every once in a while. I won't even see him, and he'll yell out, "Not today, Skillsy." I don't know if you guys remember him.
Oh, yeah.
From the playlist.
Oh my God.
Like the lineup is going up before the game, and he'll cross your name off and say, "Not today." And you want to jump up and stab him, but you like him so much that you're kind of torn. But he still throws that jab. He's still got the sense of humor, but he's just a great communicator, and you can't help but love him because he's pretty honest.
I still think to this day it wasn't him deciding that fourth line or that 6D. I think it was Poyle. I'm still convinced. I'm like,
so I have to blame David Poyle?
Yeah, I think we just threw this one on Poyle. Yeah, I don't know.
I love Trotzy, but that was the one thing I was like, my halfway through, I'm like, Trotzy, you gotta let these guys know if they're playing or not.
Yeah, that's
like,
not fair.
These guys are going home. They don't know. He's like, that's not how we do it here. I'm like, well, I think I disagree with it. He's like, well, I don't give a fuck really what you say. But
well, one guy that listen, fellas, one guy that doesn't need to worry about getting his name crossed off is number 91 on your squad, who just played his first game back in Tampa Bay, and I'm sure you guys were both there. Could you share maybe what that was like in person and what it meant to him to go back to Tampa and how his ex-teammates and new teammates really responded around that game for you guys?
Go ahead, Skills. I wasn't there with the ESPN, so Skills take it away. I watch on.
Look at you shedding a tear, Mace. Mace was so upset. He wanted to go to that game, but ESPN
love that shit.
That shit. But radio never sleeps, and we crying through it. It was awesome. I won't lie to you. It was really cool. Like just sitting there looking at what he did in like from 18 years old until he's the captain of the team. Like he grew up there, right? I mean, 16 years, and they showed the video, and he's coming in as a young draft pick, and then they showed him with a beard winning the cups, and then remember when he had the long hair? I kind of forgot about the long hair, and he's pumping it everywhere, like over 200 and something power play goals, just like he became a legend in that city, and they love him. They love him. And I will say, I don't know how you guys feel about the respect video that everyone gets when they go in back to their old place. Sometimes I think it's overdone. It's like, come on, the guy played here for 5 or 6 years. Okay, like give him a wave, like, hey, welcome back, and wave. But
totally.
The whole video is a lot. And in this case, I think they should have done it before the game started, had a full ceremony.
Yeah, he deserved more. I agree.
Roll it out for him. Like that was, he had a better career than most people ever dream about, all in one place. And I think they deserve to go over the top, but it was really awesome. The lap, and then they all continued to chant his name. And, you can't find one person that could say anything bad about Stammer. So it was awesome. I will add, I'm glad it's over. I think the Preds should be glad it's over. I think Stammer is glad it's over.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to kind of move on. I'm glad that game was earlier in the season. So, okay, my lightning time is over. I can be a Pred now. I think he took a deep breath. And he had 2 assists in that game. Should have had the game winner. I still have no idea what happened to that puck. It looked like it was going in the net in overtime, and then the puck disappeared. So, but, what a story it was.
Yeah, Skillsy, I'm with you, and everything you said is bang on in my opinion as well. And like we said, they started 0-5. Do you think starting 0-5 and the adversity that they had to go through right away with all the new pieces, I think it's going to help them in the long term here, right? Once they get going, they've already been through some adversity. Like, it's almost maybe better that they didn't start like 8-0 or something and everyone's feeling good. They've already been through it. Stammer went back to Tampa. Now it's time to kind of turn it on and gel as a team, eh?
Yeah, I think you got to get rid. That's part of being on the road too, is get through that. Like fighting your teammates. Whether you're out for dinner, out for drinks, or you're in the locker room after a loss. I think you got to get it out, air it out. And I always took Billy Guerin was one of my favorite teammates, and he'd come over to you right in your face, and you suck, and you need to be better, and I expect more from you. And you're like, this guy's a dick. And then he'd come up to you after the game, and he'd be like, we're going for beers. And you're like, well, I don't know, I have plans. He's like, no, we're going for beers. I'm your teammate. I'm going to yell at you. We're going to go hash it out. We're going to have some beers, and we're going to figure it out. And I think an 0-5 start clears the air. And with all the veterans in that locker room, I think maybe it will be a good thing down the road. It sucks to not have those points because it's going to be scratching, tooth and nail to get to the playoffs. But I think they can use that as a motivation. And hey, we went through the shit. Like, we're here. We made it through. Now let's go.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys about Ryan O'Reilly. Mason mentioned him. I played with the Fat Daddy when I was in Colorado. He was a young kid. He was fucking 21 years old, and I knew how special of a player he was, but more importantly, I knew how special of a person he was at that young of an age. Like, he was such a good pro. He was always doing the right things. Last guy off the ice, last guy at the bar, I used to say about Ryan O'Reilly. But when you guys see him every day, what is the most, I don't know, what blows you away the most about what Fat Daddy does day in, day out as a Pred?
I would say, honestly, like, you're exactly right. Like, he's an old school guy. He gets it. But I always say the best teammate is, a lot of times in our careers, sometimes you're so focused on staying in the NHL and doing this, and, you got the young kids coming up and blah, blah, blah. But he's in a position where I think the best teammates make other guys on the team better. And he does that not only on the ice. When he goes out early, takes, young guys like Luke Evangelista, he goes out, he's doing drills like half an hour before practice and stays out after. And these kids are like, holy shit, like, this is the NHL. Like, these guys do that up here. And then they kind of get those habits. Like, that's go back to Barry Trotz. He wanted guys like that because that's the culture he wanted to build. And the camaraderie, you talk about going on the road, and like, I think right now, you don't know your teammates until you actually hang out with them. Everyone's got families at home, and you got to do your thing there. So you don't really get to like hang out. You're at the rink and you're playing hockey and you're working your balls off and all that kind of stuff, but you don't get to hang out and bust each other's chops and, have a couple beers and kind of loosen up or whatever. But he's one of those guys that really orchestrates that and makes that important to make sure all the guys are included in the bonding and you're not leaving anybody out. And he brings everybody into the battle. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's on the ice, off the ice, and just really gets that bond. Like, there's certain guys, I played on teams where you don't have guys like that, and it sucks and you're not good and there's no accountability. But the guys that have that, like Ryan O'Reilly, that's why he's a winner. That's why he brings everybody, whether, it's another leader or a captain or whoever, he brings everyone together, and he's still doing it. That's why they were so successful last year. I think that was one of the biggest reasons.
Yeah, Mace, just to add on that, man, a guy that brings his guitar on the road, that stands up before a game 3 in their barn last year and says, like, in a little speech before the game I saw on Amazon Prime, like, guys, let's cherish this moment. You're going to get the best out of me. You're going to get the fucking best out of me. Like, you don't have a guy that's been a Conn Smythe winner that goes to St. Louis, in a huge trade in the first year there, makes that such a splash to that team and changes. You talk about just culture, like you said, changes the whole culture of how you act and how you be a pro and how you enjoy the road with your teammates and how you present yourself at the rink. And he has just everything. It's such a unique thing that he has that I look back at guys I play with, and I played a lot of great guys, a lot of amazing players that wear their heart on a sleeve, but he just brings it all. And why not sign him for fucking 4 years to come in and be a leader on your team? It was a great move by Trotzy. Like you guys say, you see it firsthand all the time. I wish I played with him.
Yeah, I love the
guy.
He loves Jameson too. He can drink it like a goddamn fish.
But just the ultimate the ultimate guy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. And I think there's still something to be said for, like, I was the last guy at the bar. Why am I out working you?
Yeah,
the next day, like I'm the hardest working guy out here. What's your excuse? And I think the young guys see that, like this guy's going hard all the time, and he's going. And you watch the Preds the way they play. They're picking up sticks. They're battling in the corner. If they lose a puck, they're fighting to get it back. And I think that's what the Factor does. Like, ultimate brass tacks is. He competes. Still got no visor. What is he? One of the last 4?
5 now. Matty Martin makes it 5. Yeah, we got 5 left, Skillsy.
The 5 guys, and he's in there with his nose dirty. And if you're a perimeter player, you're looking at it going, "Oh, I probably should get in there." He's doing it after he won the cup in the Conn Smythe. Like, I should probably do that too. And so you see the young guys and the old guys. Philip Forsberg is a better player. Not just because he's playing with O'Reilly, but he's a better player for watching what Ryan O'Reilly does. And so I think that, the serial winner thing that Barry Trotz talks about is very real.
Yeah, that's well said. And when you talk about the Preds organization, this is one guy you cannot not mention, Brendan Walker. First of all, how is he? What is his role now? Like, I see him up there beside Trotzy. Is he assistant GM or what's his role? But I love Walks. I was only in Nashville for a year, but God, he took care of me. And he is he was the heartbeat of the organization back then. I'm sure that hasn't changed, right, boys?
Yeah, Watts does everything. He runs everything. I think he could be the most powerful guy in Smashville. Actually, he knows everybody. He obviously organizes everything. I don't know how he does it though, because I hardly ever like text him for anything because I just know how much he's got on his plate. And then now he's the president of minor hockey here for the junior Preds or something, Skillsy. But he's a man. He's even become more powerful, I think, than when you guys were here. But he's that's the one thing about Nashville and Smashville or whatever everybody calls it here is you surround yourself. There's some great people. Walks is just unbelievable human being, but he frickin' does everything, and I have no idea how he does it.
Yeah, if the boys are going to a Dierks Bentley concert, he's got all the passes for him on the way in. He's got if someone needs something on the road for dinner, he's booking reservations. He's handling the flight. If the flight's late, he's at the front of the plane screaming. He's kind of got his fingers in everything. And I don't
got a refund for the Sphere. Remember the Sphere? They canceled. He got the boys some credit for if they want to go back and do something. They had to cancel the U2 concert.
Yeah, the credit's at the Rhino though, boys. Hey, I don't know if they're not.
Here's at the Rhino, fellas.
Yeah, the Sphere. We had to wash that. We're just gonna write that one off. Yeah.
I've got an alumni question for you, but one last one for me. I got to ask you about Partner too. Partner was my guy. Obviously went through prostate cancer last year, whatever it was. But how's he doing? Still obviously around the rink. I mean, I love Partner. He's such a big part of the Predators family as well, right?
Still got a vice grip of a hug. Still got just a beauty. He's the best, and I like Craig Baugh is one of my favorite humans, and he's doing great. Yeah, it's nice to see. He got his eyes fixed a few years ago, and he battled through cancer. He's an absolute warrior, and he's still doing it, with the same personality. So, like part of the big long tradition of Nashville Predators, he's probably the biggest one.
Yeah, but it's what do they say about people? You don't necessarily remember what they say or what they've done, but you remember how they make you feel. And I think we've all experienced that, like whether you just got, shit kicked or you lost 5 in a row, you walk in the rink, you see him, you give him a big hug and he's squeezing the life out of you. You can't help but be in a good mood. And he just brings that. He's just, he's almost like an angel on earth, I would say. He's one of he's probably one of the most legendary personalities in hockey because every visitor, even when you're on the other team, like he does the visiting locker room, they love him. He's like best friends with Joe Thornton and all the, Jumbo and all these guys, like everybody that's met Partner just loves him. And he's same as he always is.
And he can do some damage in a Chinese buffet.
Yeah. Dude, I was just going to say, what was that pregame spot we used to go to?
Well, that was Amerigo's.
Marigo. He used to do damage at Amerigo.
How about the bloomin' onion that he used to just crush out
having one by himself?
Yeah, the whole thing, the whole bloomin' onion.
One bite.
Yeah, boys. I realized that early when we used to play, the Detroit Red Wings, Mace, back in 2004 in our barn. It'd be all red and white. But their whole team of the Lidstroms and Yzermans and all their Chelios, they all just kept Partner. Like, they were all taking him out for dinner and doing this. And I'm like, this is fucking legendary. He's the best. Says a lot about him. Boys, I just want to bring up, you guys, we got a great alumni there in Nashville. We're all part of it. But you guys do, you do the guitar picks in mid-January. Is there a skate, boys? I'm not skating enough, and we got a charity game for our buddy Sheldon in Aspen, boys. And I'd love to have you if you guys don't have plans. December 13th to 15th, we get smoked by the Avalanche alumni. It's not perfect, but
no, the French are assholes.
Yeah, the French are. The French are. I hear you, Skillsy. But how's a lot of hockey guys are still back there? Are you guys skating, and how's the alumni? And then that guitar picks is just such a great event, right, boys?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great. Well, Chaser Uppy.
Yeah, of course,
from St. Louis. Him and I, and Chaser's the best. He's the most. Talk about a guy that just had a battle with cancer, but yeah, he's probably the most ultimate pro ex-NHL alumni guy that I've ever met. And so he helped us. We started it and we put it on. We haven't done it. COVID kind of ruined everything, but we're gonna bring it back. And it's just unbelievable. We've raised over $250,000 for the Preds Foundation. But the thing about it is, it's you guys do that camp there. I hope we can make that because it's unbelievable. But it feels like you're playing again, that you're back with the boys in the dressing room and all the guys all the campers just love the stories. And, the funny thing is the first year we did it, you bring in all these guys and you got to bring in some big names to get the bids, and everybody bids on who they want on their team. And the first year it was like, everyone's like, oh, I want the best player. He was like a Hall of Famer and he scored like a million goals and this and that. And by the next year, everyone's like, I want PJ Stock, I want Skillsy, I want McGrath, and just because they want the stories, right?
Yeah,
guys
totally.
like, hang out with them and everything, and it's awesome though, man. It's I love seeing the guys that come in have a good time and just listening to the boys like tell the stories. They just can't believe it. Like, we do a good event, have like the Hanson brothers, and right up Skillsy's wheelhouse.
We're doing the Bag Checker Service Cup is coming up November 22nd. If you want to come out and buzz, we got police team, a fire department team, and then two military teams.
Yeah.
So if
send out the flyer. I'll be a fourth line left winger, buddy. I'll chip it in and fucking chase it down, brother. Skillsy, this probably doesn't surprise you, but I'm not itching to get on the ice at all, fella. Not one fucking bit. This probably doesn't surprise you, but I'm not itching to get out there, buddy.
I got hips like Golden Girls. My hips are just garbage. So I'll do it, but it's gonna ruin me for another week or two. So
you lied though.
But you know what? We have so many alumni that have moved into town. It's kind of fun being around. Like,
not even Preds alumni from everywhere. Everyone's moving here.
Yeah. So it's we got some things coming up. So we'll get going. We'll get buzzing, and we'll get you out here.
Yeah, keep us in the loop.
You dance.
Hey, listen, you boys are unbelievable for hockey. I love what you do. You got a new podcast coming out. You guys want to work even more. You got hardest working guys in hockey, but what's it called? The new podcast. And where can the fellas hear it?
The Bag Checker podcast. And Skillsy, you guys are doing such a great job, and we're taking more of the angle. We're the dads, so we're taking the dad angle. We're trying to talk about some of the shit we go through on the road, the guilt that you feel as a father after a 15-day road trip. You're coming back. We each got 3 kids, and you got to do all that stuff. Ways that we're like trying to get better, and I'm sure, I don't know if you guys ever went through it, but a lot of guys I see, and you probably talk to a lot of guys. After they retired, they go through a tough time. So just all the stuff that, we actually deal with from, time to time, and different things we're trying to do to make ourselves better. And then all the activities and all the fun stuff we do on the road, we're just going to talk about that, and obviously hockey. But yeah, it's fun. We're about 7 episodes in, Bag Chucker podcast, and Skillsy's killing it. Skillsy, he can tell stories like no other. So we're having fun.
Yeah, Mace was had this emotional journey this summer, and so he's been dragging me into the fight talking about my emotions, which I usually like to keep really down low and hidden. But he's got
alter ego we talked about, right?
But there's still room, because basically this is a podcast where Mace and I, when we're on the road, we just start talking about stuff, and we're like, why aren't we much like you guys? Like, let's tell the story, put it out so people can hear it. But we had a full podcast basically on which bar stool is the right one to pick when you walk into a bar. Where do you go? Where do you want to be? You want to be. You guys want to be right next to the waitress stand.
Yeah, dance floor for up, dog.
Yeah, right next to the dance floor.
You can put me anywhere, though. I'll be fine.
You look at, I don't want to be stuck. That guy's an anchor. Let's not sit next to him, but that girl might talk too much. This guy looks cool. That girl is beautiful, but I don't know if I want to be too close and send out the wrong vibe too early. You gotta massage where you sit at a bar. So that was one of our episodes. So we're kind of tackling it all, but we're learning as we go.
Skillsy, I go for the closest bar stool to the bathroom nowadays, buddy. That's what it's got to me. Hey, wherever the pisser is, buddy, put me right beside it. So, hey, listen, boys, you guys are great for the game. I could do this all day with you guys. So thank you for joining us. Keep it going. Say hi to all the boys in Smashville for us, and keep us in the loop on the alumni stuff. Updog will be your F1, no problem. He'll get on the forecheck for you boys.
Dog on a bowl.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate you guys.
Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Thank you to Skillsy, Hal Gill, absolute legend. Chris Mason, one of your former teammates. Great setup in the garage he's got there.
Great setup. Yeah, you got to have a good garage. That's important. It's a Mason. They used to play that game. They used to play a song. They had songs for everything. Tim McGraw goal song. But when Mace took over for Vaucoon, who was hurt at the time, he had just a lovely silhouette tune that the whole crowd would sing, and he played great for us. Great goalie, great teammate. And Hal Gill, his reputation speaks for itself. I never play with him, but a lot against him in my Philly days when he was with Pitt. And we're walking around that arena in Pittsburgh last week with you. A lot of pictures of Hal Gill.
Yeah.
He was a lifter there.
He was there.
So, thanks to those boys for taking their time, promoting their new pod on our show. Great guys and living it up in Nashville still.
Yeah, they're great for the game. I love the Predators telecast. Anytime I watch on ESPN Plus, I always obviously tune into those boys. So thank you to them. Hopefully the Preds can get it going here up, dog. I know we both put some money on them and we both want them in the playoffs. I love the fact that we love that organization. So thank you to those boys. That was Missin Curfew.
Fellas.